So I thought I would just take a minute and kind of point out the office where I actually work. My office when I'm actually writing, because I'm constantly writing about writing or just writing, and so I thought it might be interesting to kind of get a little perspective on this is actually where I actually work. Well, right behind me, as you can kind of see, this is actually my computer setup, which strangely enough, even though it's a really, really nice computer system, I think I'll just point out the computer rather than me. Even though it's a really nice computer system and really, really powerful, it was really expensive. One of the things that's interesting about it is this is not where I do any of my writing. So I have this really good system, but for the most part I use it for research. Because a lot of the work that I have to do is that, and also when I'm putting videos and stuff like that together, this is the system that I actually use because, like I said, it's a lot more powerful, so it's got the stronger graphics and all that kind of stuff, so it can bring everything into it, and sometimes I'll add, 3D graphics themselves, or do something like use Blender or something and actually create special effects and all that, which I've done for like other companies and other people, but for my own stuff I generally don't do too much of that because there's not really much call for it in basically a site that's more about writing than it is about the creation of stuff. I mean, back when I was creating games years and years ago, yeah, there was a lot of use for that, and I still play around and dabble in that. But for the most part, from when I'm writing, this is the system that I use after I've actually done all the writing and everything. And even when I'm putting together videos themselves, I don't even do a lot of the filming on this one. I use another computer for that. And actually, I have an office in the same building here. It's literally right over here. I'm going to take you in there in a second. But that's where I do the majority of the writing. And I'll show you that office, and I'll do more of a handheld kind of a thing as we kind of go through that. So let's wander over here. All right, the office is actually over here. Bedroom and everything is over here. Bathroom's over there. So like I said, this was the original computer I was talking about. And so the actual office is this door that's literally right over here. So we're going to actually walk into here, and you'll kind of get an idea of some of the stuff that's going on. Like you'll notice in the very back there's a green screen that I have set up. Unfortunately, when it's a really light day like it is right now, you'll see these lines going across, which is basically the window slats that are kind of making pictures that they shouldn't make. So I tend to have to do a lot of the filming that I do when I'm actually doing any filming, usually towards later at night or during bad weather. And as I live in Texas, bad weather is not really an easy thing to come across. My bookshelf, when you walk in here, is basically this one here. Just got, as I have this whole thing on penguins, you'll see them kind of all over the place. The place is kind of messy, and I generally keep it messy. Like if you take a look back at the floor that I have here, I've got boxes that I still haven't really gotten rid of, but I don't really have a place for the stuff for it. But it's, computer equipment, paper, stuff like that. But this is the other computer that's right here. It's, like I said, it's not a powerful computer. It's somewhat of a pretty weak computer, actually. But I had it configured specifically just for writing, and so that's mainly what I use for my writing tasks. I have storage over here. I won't actually get into that in a second. I won't actually get into that. There's another bookshelf right over here. Oh, oops. I'll kind of get an idea of what this place looks like. So this is where I was when I came in. That was that other bookshelf right over here, and then I have basically a lot of books. Now I have a lot of storage stuff and everything. Like over here, this is it's actually my latest novel that I'm kind of working on, so it's kind of like the first draft of about 10 drafts that I'll end up doing. I have an exercise bike, which, as you can see by the amount of stuff that's actually on it, I don't use it as much as I should. And of course I've got it's kind of a weird calendar, or a map, where it's kind of a scratch. You can scratch stuff off there, but I got it mainly for just to kind of keep reference of, different countries and all that, so I basically don't scratch anything off of it. But then, okay, there's my green screen, and then back over here, this is my actual computer. So I'll do like, Zoom chats and stuff on there. But for the most part, what I'm actually writing, this is what I actually use. And so I have another printer over here. There's a printer in the main room, which is my main computer, so if I really, really need to print something, that's the one I'll actually use. But this is the basics of my setup, and I just thought I would give you an idea of kind of what it looks like.